Hello, this is Eldoric The Guardian Tank, here with my Monk for a quick 5-man run in order to show you the basics of what you have in the Mist of Pandaria Beta for their tanking. Now before we even go into it, I just want to real quickly show you the abilities you'll be using. When the actual expansion hits, I'll do a more robust version of this so you can really see, and you'll have cuts of all the abilities, but here's what you're looking at. Use Jab, which costs 40 energy, as a primary way to build Chi. You can have up to 4 Chi, you can extend up to 5 with talents, but that's what we got right here. Use Jab, and you also use Expel Harm. Now this is on the 15-second cooldown. It's really great. It does damage, and it heals you, and it generates Chi. So this is one thing you really want to be on the ball with using. Now, that's your 2 primary ways of building Chi. I'm just going to say primary. The ways you also want to expend it is you want Guard, 30 seconds, your Guard against future attacks, absorbing a certain amount, and then for damage for 30 seconds, and then the heals you apply while guarding are increased by 30%, which can work out really well depending on the exact build you have. This flows extremely well with Expel Harm and a talent I have called Zen Sphere, which costs 2 Chi, and I use it just like another expenditure. It's a talent, you don't have to have it to tank, but I think it's a really worthwhile thing to have. Your primary expenditure though is Blackout Kick, and what this does is it does really good damage onto your target, and then also causes you to shuffle, increasing your parry by 20% and your stagger amount by an additional 20%. And remember, stagger is you take a little bit of the damage now and a little bit of the damage later. It almost takes a regular hit and makes that into a dot that's on you. So it smooths out damage a little bit, which will help your healer. That's kind of how their block mechanic, whatever you want to call, works. And it's interesting. I haven't seen it challenged too much, so it seems to work well. So you got Blackout Kick right there. The other thing you have is Purifying Brew, which costs 1 Chi. And this is one you probably want to be hitting quite a bit, and it purifies all that stagger damage. So basically, like I said, you get that hot on you. It converts a regular hit to a hot. Excuse me, it converts a regular hit to a dot, and then this ability will remove the dot from you. Damage over time. So I hope that makes sense. It takes that stagger damage, that dot that's on you that this mechanic creates, and takes that away. So it's actually a really great thing, and works pretty well. And then you have your normal assessment abilities. Won't go into all of them, but they're there and they are useful. And don't forget, you also have Keg's Mount, which I use primarily as my AoE ability, and it causes weakening blows. And you need that because it's the primary tanking debuff. All of them have it, and all of them now are attached very a la the warrior to your AoE move. So let's go ahead and hop into a dungeon here. And you can see this monk, this Eldfu, in action. Here we go. Alright, here we are. We're about to go ahead and start in the dungeon. I like the Pandaren. They seem like a nice people. Alright, let's go ahead and make sure everyone's in here. Looks pretty good. I am going to get going. Spinning starter kick. Okay, building up Jab. Jab. Get my guard up. I got 3. That seems like a... Now I got 4. I'm going to Shadow Kick. I'm going to clear out my stagger damage. The Monk is a lot faster than the Druid tank or even the Warrior tank when it comes to using abilities. You feel like you're really pushing them out there. And spit some hot fire. That's what I do. Builds Chi quickly, expends it. Each ability he has doesn't seem as hard-hitting as you may get with the other tanks, but it's still pretty good. But you get to use them more, giving the sense of just feeling really quick. And I like how one of the abilities costs a little bit less than the other, just doesn't have as much impact. For the Druid, the Paladin, and the Warrior, the abilities more or less cost exactly the same. And it's just a situational choice. This, by having one cost just a smidge less, kind of gives you a different option there. And that ability over me is a talent. You can have it. It's a Zen Sphere. It heals you. I kind of like it, but you don't have to have that. So you can ignore that ability if you want. Get guard up. Guard is incredibly important. You got to remember to maintain that. Don't forget about weakening blows. There we go. Now we're just going to clear out some trash up here. Again, by using Spinning Star Kick. It's actually called Crane Kick, but the female human was the first time I saw this ability, and it reminded me of Chun-Li from Street Fighter. So, Spinning Star Kick. And forever will it be Spinning Star Kick. I didn't check, but it looks like we have a monk healer, which makes me not want to use Zen Sphere as much because she can put it on me and I don't have to waste the chi. Keep clearing these guys out. Spit some hot fire. Gotta remember guard. That's one thing about the monk tank, is because they have more or less a cooldown version of an ability every 30 seconds. You just kind of maintain that. It's just, that one ability isn't as fun as some of the other ones you have. It's still good, but that might be one minor gripe that I have on the monk tank in that one particular ability. If it has to be maintained on the 30-second interval, you might as well just make it permanent or take it into another ability. But I'm not a designer, so who cares what I think? I'm just telling you how it works. Now, there comes a point where all these guys just run out for the boss. We're about to encounter that. There we go. And I will go do my thing. Jab. Let's go ahead and get the good stuff going here. Purifying Brew, clearing off that stagger damage. Don't forget, you do have regular cooldowns that you can be using. I'll go ahead and use one here. I don't need to, but I'm just going to go. This should help out my healer with a little bit of damage. Now, this boss does stun a lot, which is incredibly annoying. Making the use of pure damage reduction cooldowns, things that don't affect like parry and dodge, because when you're stunned, you can't do those things. Make them very useful, so you can limit that damage at that time. Didn't mean to do that twice in a row. Must have more control than that. Yep, it's done. Wonderful animations on the monk, and I like how they kind of, they look like they're actually doing something. I was worrying that the punching, the kicking would kind of not have great animations, but Blizzard came through. Now if they only improved the Druid Bear animations, we would be all set. I love my Bear Druid, but their animations are terrible. Ah, you know what I forgot? Not that. I forgot Weakening Blows, because it's attached to an AoE move. And on my Warrior, not a problem. I'm so used to using an AoE move for a debuff. But I'm not used to it on any other tanking class, so I have to remember to throw that out there. Finishing up the boss here. Stuns are just so much fun. We have one ad here. I'll kill him. One nice thing about the monk, it feels like you have a lot of options for your chi that are useful to tanking, which is great. Can't use that. No good. Moving along. Okay, again. Jab. To build up chi, you also use Expel Harm. You use that on guard. You got to maintain that as much as you can. You want to keep that up. And then you also have Purifying Brew, which takes away your staggered damage, takes away that dot that's created by it. And then you also have Blackout Kick, which increases that parry and the amount that you stagger by. So you want to maintain that as much as you can. That's about it. Overall, I have been very satisfied with the Monk tanking. I think it's pretty good. It's definitely engaging and fun. It's arguably the most fun out of all of them. I think being new is a huge part of that. So if you're thinking that you may want to have a Brewmaster as your primary tank, you would be doing a good job because it is worthwhile. Anyway, until next time, this is Eldoric The Guardian Tank. Keep your mitigation active. Whoa! You do feel kind of like a ninja. That's a good thing.